This episode of ETC is brought to you by Watchable. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. Well, late Tuesday or
Wednesday,
whatever.
Days are just a social construct.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it looks like Tidal, the music streaming service that's by artists, for artists, or something,
Yeah.
won't be going away anytime soon, or at the very least, won't be going down without a fight.
Yeah.
A fight that, at this point, has devolved into a hostage negotiation standoff, with Tidal holed up in an abandoned building, holding a gun to the head of the latest, most hotly anticipated music releases, demanding ransom money from the music listening public camped out outside, or else.
Yeah. Okay. That's not literally what's happening, but Tidal is now primarily relying on big music release exclusives to keep their user base numbers and download stats up, as they continue to fight a losing battle against Spotify and Apple Music. They did this with Rihanna's latest album, Anti, back in January by making Tidal the one and only way to listen to it for 24 full hours before the album's release on other platforms. Beyonce's latest song, Formation, was also released exclusively through Tidal, though that one's totally free to download for whether you're a Tidal subscriber or not.
Yeah, so that's cool. Exclusivity windows aren't that bad of a thing. They're an incentive and a reward for people who sign up for Tidal. You get to listen to something new before everyone else does, and then 24 hours or a week or a month later or whatever, everyone else can go buy it or stream it on all the other platforms.
It's like PlayStation getting the Black Ops 3 DLC before Xbox.
I mean, it sucks for some people, but it's actually a pretty smart business model for Tidal, provided that they can get enough A-list artists on board that temporary exclusive releases can become a regular thing that they do.
Yeah, it would have to be literally on a month-to-month basis with albums and artists that everyone across their entire platform is very interested in.
Yeah, that's how you make it work.
Yeah. But you're not here to listen to us talk about smart business models. No, not at all. You're here to listen to us talk about Kanye West, who just made Tidal the most downloaded iOS app in the world thanks to his new album, The Life of Pablo, which at first glance seems like quite an achievement, but it's really a giant mess when you actually get into the details. So let's do that.
So for months now, fans of Kanye West have been eagerly awaiting his 7th studio album, which was originally titled So Help Me God, then renamed to Swish, then renamed to Waves, then finally renamed to The Life of Pablo just days before release. And Kanye, in typical Kanye fashion, treated all of the time leading up to the album's release the same way cult members treat the imminent arrival of the second coming of Christ. The man knows how to self-promote, he knows how to keep himself relevant, I'll give him that much.
Yeah, he also has no filter whatsoever. And in addition to making it very clear that even in the 11th hour, he had no idea what he was gonna name his album, what the track order would be, or even what the official release date would be, he also revealed on Twitter that he's somehow $53 million in debt, despite all of his success, or so he claims.
Yeah, so regardless of how that's even possible, apparently Kanye needs money.
Yeah.
And not just $53 million. He wants billions.
Yeah.
And he wants at least one of those billions to come from Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. On Sunday, he tweeted, "Mark Zuckerberg invests $1 billion into Kanye West ideas." Why does Kanye need so much money, you might be asking? Well, he's got ideas, that's why. And not just music ideas.
Oh.
Kanye West literally believes that he's the next Steve Jobs, and has said so on numerous occasions.
Yeah, so that brings us to Donda, Kanye West's vision for the kind of tech company he'd run if only he had unlimited money. A few years back, Kanye was desperately trying to get into the tech world, meeting with Silicon Valley's biggest venture capitalists to pitch them his ideas. But nothing ever came out of it.
Aww.
But apparently Kanye still thinks Donda is not only the answer to all the world's problems, it's also the answer to all of his money problems.
Yeah, so on Sunday, Kanye tweeted out, "Here's my Donda chart that I wrote 4 years ago that everyone laughed at."
They're still laughing.
And the attached image gives some serious insight into the mind of Kanye West. Basically, he just wants to do everything.
Yeah.
Fashion, video games, banking, a 7-screen movie experience.
Oh, good.
Finding cures for cancer and HIV, opening hotels and restaurants and amusement parks, looking for alternative green energy sources, something called emoticon autocorrect. These are just some of the many things Kanye West would bless upon the world if only he could secure a small loan of several $1 billion.
Yeah, now there's still no word from Mark Zuckerberg on how much he'll be investing in Donda, but the point is, Kanye's broke. Or at least he feels broke and wants way more money than he already has.
Probably more likely.
Which leads us back to Tidal. As one of Tidal's original Illuminati investors, it wasn't surprising at all that he was planning on releasing The Life of Pablo exclusively on Tidal for a short period of time, just as fellow Tidal Illuminati members Beyonce and Rihanna had. But in the midst of Kanye's very public meltdown over his financial problems, he finally released the album on Saturday night and extended The Life of Pablo's Tidal exclusivity to a full week before a wide release, with the album also available for purchase as a digital download via his website.
But very quickly, that digital download store on the Kanye West website disappeared.
Where'd it go?
And Kanye took to Twitter and basically begged his 19 million followers to sign up for Tidal, tweeting, "Please, for all music lovers, please subscribe to Tidal. I decided not to sell my album for another week. Please subscribe to Tidal." Meanwhile, several thousand people who'd pre-ordered the album for download found that they were still being charged for it, despite it not being available anymore.
Yeah.
A problem that Tidal seems to have sorted out by now, but which demonstrates the same larger problem of the incompetence that we saw last month when they accidentally reactivated a bunch of dead accounts and started billing people without him asking.
Like, that tweet just is literally the tweet version of Jeb Bush saying, "Please clap,
Please clap.
please clap." Also, when he typed it, I wonder if his emoticon corrector was like,
Gah!
"Do you mean pray hands?" Because that's what you're doing right now. Please. Anyway, Kanye's a huge artist, and his album is one of the most highly anticipated albums in recent years, so it's hardly surprising that tens of thousands of his fans immediately downloaded Tidal and created free trial accounts so that they could hear the album and support their favorite artist. So not long after the announcement, Tidal jumped to the #1 spot in the iTunes Store's download charts. So there you go.
Kanye had just demonstrated how powerful his social influence could be. But he wasn't about to stop.
Nope.
On Monday, Kanye changed course yet again and tweeted, "My album will never, never, never be on Apple, and it will never be for sale. You can only get it on Tidal," which is totally unprecedented. No one else has done this before. Except, as we all know here on the internet, nothing is ever really exclusive.
No, because downloads always find a way, especially if consumers feel like they're being manipulated and screwed over. BitTorrent news website Torrent Freak reported that after just the first day of the album's release, it had been illegally downloaded around 500,000 times. In a storm of torrents so vast and so quick that despite the best efforts of Kanye and Tidal's lawyers, new download links kept popping up and kept getting unprecedented amount of downloads. And Twitter users have been joyfully posting screenshots of the album in their iTunes library and also tweeting them at Kanye.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just beautiful.
Now, obviously, a lot of the people illegally downloading the album would have done so regardless of how it was commercially released. But Kanye's declaration that the album would be a Tidal exclusive forever and ever undoubtedly is responsible for the album being downloaded by people who otherwise would have been glad to give Kanye money, and in a lot of cases did give him money,
Yeah.
and then got nothing in return.
Yeah.
They want the songs, they want to be able to do whatever the hell they want with it instead of being tied to a streaming service with an already mediocre reputation.
Well, it's like I said online the other day, I was just like, no, it's not, Kanye, it's not exclusive. You're making people who, if they're under a certain age group, probably never downloaded an album illegally because they're just available everywhere. And B, everyone that hadn't downloaded music in years, I'm not saying that I downloaded it illegally.
Maybe you did, maybe you didn't.
but it was like, oh man, what's that like, downloading an album? It's been so long because everything is just so freely available under the expectability that you are contributing to the artist.
I think
when you stream it or when you watch it on YouTube and the ads go to it or the ads on Spotify. I'm a premium Spotify member. I like Spotify. A portion of that goes to him if I'm listening to his album.
Everyone has a breaking point when it comes to illegally downloading and watching and listening to stuff. And I think
Just
Kanye,
take the money.
Yeah, this whole thing pushed a lot of people past that breaking point who otherwise would have been happy to give Kanye West
if it was for sale, full
$10.
price, been very happy to buy it if it wasn't available anywhere else.
He's also just fucking over everyone who actually wants to get a physical copy of the album or even like a vinyl.
Yeah.
Like, screw you guys. You're just gonna have to have Tidal for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Anyway, so about that whole big triumphant rise of Tidal to the top of the App Store, turns out it's not really as much of a cause for celebration as they would like you to believe. For one thing, over on the Google Play Store, Tidal didn't create nearly as big of a splash. It still sits behind Spotify, Pandora, and SoundCloud. It's down at like 77 or something like that. And even on Apple Store, Tidal's numbers are already starting to sink after the Kanye bump. Meanwhile, Spotify continues to dominate the streaming landscape. It's just floating up there at the top. And Apple Music trudges forward thanks to the fact that it's just a drop in the bucket for Apple. Like, they could lose $1 billion on it and they'd still be cool with it.
I'm not kidding. Like, there's a lot of things you can pick up from various communities online about how they feel about certain services, whether it's YouTube's community or Twitch's community or whatever. And I'm not saying this to be like mean to Tidal or anything like that, but if you go to the Black People Twitter subreddit, which is like has the funniest memes of anywhere on, when you see someone stealing memes, they're all coming from the Black People Twitter
It's a great subreddit.
But there was so many things about Kanye's album release on there, and then you go into the comments section, and they're just like, this service sucks. I don't want this. Nobody wants this. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
The album's fucking amazing, but nobody wants to contribute to Tidal. They've already left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And so it's not just like jaded, salty tech bloggers or even us that are angry with this app's launch. It's everyone.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people who are diehard Kanye West fans too. Like he's kind of just alienated everyone who was very, very eagerly anticipating this album.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of this translates to Kanye West making a lot less money off The Life of Pablo than he would have if he just released it like a normal record instead of holding the record for ransom within Tidal.
Yeah.
So sure, albums are always, or almost always, lost leaders nowadays, with artists making most of their money off of touring, licensing, and merch.
And Yeezys.
Yeah, sure. The shoes, the fashion.
Yeah.
And of course, Kanye owns part of Tidal and does stand to benefit in the long run if enough people sign up for his album and then stick around long enough to start paying for the service
I wonder
later.
where that $53 million went. Could it be investing in a flop of a tech company?
Yeah. But for a guy who was just literally days ago publicly complaining about being so poorly in debt, this was a very odd and very, very misguided way to try to make money back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Kanye, you're a
so
talented man, but you're not a businessman.
When you're so blatantly just making it about money, it's also a big turnoff to people that would normally be like, yeah, sure, I want to support the artist.
Well, you bought a $20 million house like 6 months ago. What are you complaining about money for?
It's
Like,
fine.
I'm fine with Kanye's ego. It entertains me, but like
The man makes great albums. The album is great.
Yeah.
I love the album. It's fantastic.
I'm fine with Kanye West existing and also believing that he's like the second coming of Christ. That I can accept those two things. But like this whole thing, for me and for a lot of people, I'm just
That's gonna be a no for me though.
Ugh, Kanye, what are you doing?
Anyways, my God, did we just spend a ridiculous amount of time talking about Tidal and by proxy Kanye West. But that's how it always goes, I guess. When the Tidal train leaves the station, ain't no brakes to stop it. There are, however, other important tech news stories this week, one of which we'll now devote the tiniest amount of effort possible into talking about.
First off, Einstein was right, guys.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know he's dead and widely regarded as a genius and the father of modern physics, but his general theory of relativity, which he published way back in 1915, included the idea of gravitational waves. And last week, scientists were finally able to actually record and observe the phenomenon and confirm that it's real. So good job, Einstein.
But
You were
what
right.
does Tidal have to do with this? Were they holding this information ransom?
Well, I mean, Tidal comes from the radio waves. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Well, it's the moon's gravitational pull, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they're gonna put a stop to that too. Anyways, we're not even gonna try to explain what gravitational waves are because we would just sound like idiots or just basically take the description from somewhere else and try to explain it like idiots. But this is obviously huge news for the scientific community and by extension the rest of us who regularly use shit like GPS and Wi-Fi without even giving any thought to the groundbreaking science behind it.
Yeah, I mean, this is something all of us consumers will probably be very grateful for in a couple decades.
Yeah.
But for now, it's like...
That's why we need to fund NASA instead of Kanye West.
One thing that's cool, though, is...
What is Kanye's solution to this in Donda?
make textbooks cheaper.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
Something like that.
You know, ironically, you can just steal textbooks off the internet too, so.
Yeah, well, I was under the impression that a lot of schools have switched to digital only. Am I wrong?
I think you might be wrong. I think you might be wrong. I don't know. I'm sure they're still very expensive to buy digitally unless you steal them.
Yeah, it's like when you go on fucking Amazon, you're like, buy the ebook for $10 or the actual paper book for $9. Like,
oh no, on Amazon it's like,
what?
If you get a classic book, you can buy books for like a penny, and the digital copies are like $10.
Fuck you, Amazon. You're literally sending
Hey,
me.
don't say that. I love Amazon. They got me my fucking Soda Stream in 1 hour.
I buy a lot of things from Amazon. I've spent thousands of dollars on Amazon, but fuck you. Yeah. Like, you're sending me ones and zeros for a book, and you're charging me more.
It goes to the author and the publisher.
I know. It's just silly.
You curmudgeon.
How did I even go down this path?
Listen, you can say the same thing about buying a digital download from Kanye West. Just a bunch of ones and zeros.
Yeah.
But if it means that he can make more just eclectic and enigmatic clothing designs like he has in the past couple of years, then so be it. Because Northwest isn't gonna feed herself.
Yeah.
She's far too young.
Yeah, she can.
She can't.
And the other one, Saint West.
Saint West.
Way too young. taking food out of my baby's mouth. Wow. Wow, what a ride, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this Kanye breakdown. And I'm sure it's going to keep going. So go follow him, or don't. Or don't. I mean, it is a fucking Twitter comedy goldmine.
He's just got to be on Twitter all the time. He just, no filter. I love it.
You think he walks around with a battery pack in his pocket where his phone is constantly charged?
I think he just has a bunch of
He
phones.
dictates,
he throws them away.
the tweets to his assistants. No, this is brilliant. You write this down. Textbooks are too expensive.
Oh, and they keep using the wrong emoticons. That's why he wants a emoticon.
No.
Spell check.
I wanted the guy that was going like this, not the hands that were like this. I want the guy that looks like he's that's my favorite emoji. The confused one where it's like this. I love that one. Send me that emoji on Twitter. I love it. It's my favorite. It's like he's doing the dab with his finger. We got him to do the dab. All right, watch other content. We have a new Creepy Text Theater. Check it out.
Bye.
For more ETC, check out Watchable.com or download the iOS app. They feature daily video playlists with the good stuff from around the web.